for the game in terms of the gap. So 1-1 is finished at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Earlier on, a big blow to Norwich, the bottom club's hopes of Premier League survival. Comfortable 3-0 win for Ralph Hasenhüttl's Southampton at Carrow Road. So as I say, no change in terms of the gap between Spurs and United, 8th and 5th. It remains at 4 points. Manchester United 2 behind Chelsea, having played a game more, but perhaps incidentally as well, 2 ahead of Sheffield United, having played a game more, who they play next, and Wolves 3 behind with that game in hand too. And Southampton now 10 clear of the relegation zone, very much looking upwards, level on points with Everton now. Norwich, a reminder, 21 points from 30 games. No team in that situation with that total have ever gone on to survive in the Premier League. Lots more to come from Tim and from Michael. We'll also talk to Robbie Keane and Ryan Giggs, plus all the reaction from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Jose, happy, unhappy? How's all that left you feeling?
Happy and happy. Happy with things and happy with others.
Oh, you've stopped?
Yeah.
What bits did you like?
What did I like?
Yeah.
I like the team attitude, the team organization, the control, following a plan, being very solid, giving to United what they don't like, and really, really happy with that. And happy with the fact that the way I was reading the game, I had no bench to react to it. With Lucas and Dele, or they would be on the bench, or they would be playing, and then I would have on the bench some of our attacking players, because when they become more dominant, because we were quite tired up front, by being tired, we couldn't press. It was easier for them to build, and at the same time, we couldn't be dangerous in the counter-attack because we had no legs for that. So it was hard to manage the game in that sense. I'm not also happy with the penalty, and I'm not also happy with the second penalty.
Okay, first penalty, the one that stood.
Yeah.
You're unhappy with the ref or your defender?
I'm unhappy with the VAR, not with the referee, because the referee in the game can make a mistake, can give a cheap penalty, but then the VAR is there to do the job. So I'm not unhappy with Moss. I'm unhappy with the VAR. In the second penalty, I'm unhappy with both. I'm unhappy with Moss because he didn't give the free kick on Serge Aurier. He let it go, and then again he gave a cheap penalty, a non-penalty, and in this case the VAR gave the truth in what happened in the box.
What did you make of Eric Dyer tonight? Because that was maybe a big call for you to put him in.
I think
one
he
penalty
was
that stood, one that didn't. How do you think he did?
Was fantastic. I think he played very well. Him and Davison. I think Davison had one mistake in the first half, whereby a technical mistake, the ball went to Rashford, and Rashford had that chance with Hugo. Part of that, I think they played both very well, and Dyer for me was absolutely perfect.
Do you think, you raised it before the game, the strength of their bench compared to yours?
Yeah.
Do you think that was decisive, particularly with Paul Pogba coming on and influencing the game like he did?
No, it was not just Paul. They had Paul, they had Greenwood, they had 7 or 8 to Chelsea, 4 to them, -1, -2 with Sheffield, Wolves. There are lots of teams in there, and of course the objective was to win the match. But as I was saying before the game, we could live here in relation to United -1, -4, -7. -7 would be really, really bad. -4, we are still in the fight with them. But the fight is not just with them. There are many clubs fighting for the same.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
When he says -4, that is the deficit, of course, between Tottenham and Manchester United. Just as we did before the game, we can talk to the former Tottenham striker,
All of that, the circumstances, the result, the team performance.
I think we did very well. It was a difficult game. We start good with our ideas, but they score on a counter. But I think we are all the time in the game. We score. We have a lot of chances to score more. It's not enough for us because we want to win every game. But I think it's a good result. We are not happy, but it's a good result.
You said it was good in the first half. Was it better in the second half?
No, I think it was the same. Maybe in the second half we have more chances. We create more chances than the first half. But I think the game on full was good. After a long stop, I think we did very well.
It's the first time we've seen you play together with Paul Pogba. How did you find it? Because it seemed to work perfectly straight away.
Yeah, we're training hard in the past weeks. When we train on groups, I was in the group of Paul, so to find the connection is easier. But I find a good connection with everyone, and the most important is the team. I think Paul think the same, and we are happy. Paul won the penalty, I kick, so the most important is the team. Doesn't matter who scores, who do the assist or nothing. I think the more important is winning, and is about the team.
Does his game change yours at all?
No, don't change nothing. We need to, as a team, we need to look for the Champions League. We need to try to be close for try to catch the guys who are up front. Unfortunately, we are 1 point closer, but they need to play. We will see.
Did it feel different being stood over the penalty because there was no crowd?
I
Maybe
don't know.
calmer, less nerves?
No. I like the pressure, so maybe with the crowd will be better. But the most important, I score. Next time maybe shoot another one. We have a good penalty takers. We have a lot of players who can take the penalty. If this second one goes front, was Rashi score, and I trust in Rashi like everyone trusts in me.
Just lastly, it looked like you'd won a second penalty, a challenge on you by Eric Dyer. What happened there? It looked like maybe you went into the contact rather than him fouling you. Were you surprised it was overturned?
I kicked the ball, and after I kicked the ball, I found his foot. I don't know if he put his foot there or not, or if me after touching the ball I touch his foot, but it doesn't matter. The VAR is here to help. If they think it's not penalty, and we need to accept and nothing more.
Thanks for your time.
Okay, well, he accepts it. Let's have a look at it. Did VAR, Graham Scott was in VAR, incidentally, tonight. Did they get to the right decision here, Tim?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think they got a little bit lucky here, Felly. He gets his toe on it. He's trying to make Dyer come in, and Dyer does well, actually. Plants his foot, doesn't make any contact. Because initially I thought, not a lot of contact there, but has he trod on the foot of Fernandes? And when you see, and the VAR had a good look at it, they got it absolutely correct.
Michael?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he got away with it, Dyer. He didn't have to lunge in like that. If you're in the lower leagues and you haven't got VAR, you're saying that's a bad defensive mistake. You know, he's lucky that VAR's in place there because he's made a rash decision and he's got away with it. Fernandes was always going to get the toe in before him. So thankfully, from his point of view, it normally goes in the attacking favour, but I think this time the right decision was made from a defensive point of view.
Let's just clear it up with the former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher, who we spoke to in the week with GDS and all the negativity around that. Let's be positive. It's the first time that VAR has gone against United all season. You've told us right from the outset it's there to get to the right decision, and that's a perfect example, I guess, is it, Dermot?
It was, Steve. I think Tim and Michael both summed up perfectly in so much as the process was perfect, wasn't it? I can understand why John's given it. He's thought that Dyer stepped on his foot, and that's what spun him round. But when you look at it, Dyer plants his foot in the ground. He doesn't touch him, and Fernandes actually goes into him, and that's where the contact's made. Graham Scott, quite rightly, has reviewed it, looked at it, picked all the right points out and told John to overturn it.
And Michael's made a good point there. We've brought it in to get to the right decision. Last season, that would have been a big talking point, would have been a penalty.
It would, there's no doubt about it. Absolutely right, Steve. You know, in so much as that would have been a penalty, it had been given. VAR was brought in to correct these kind of decisions. You know, it gives penalties when they should be given. It takes penalties away when they shouldn't be given. You know, that one shouldn't have been given. It's been overturned. I think there was one earlier in the season at Burnley with Chelsea. So it works both ways for defenders and attackers. And I think the confidence in the VAR has risen so much in this season because of that.
Dermot, thank you very much indeed. Good to see you, and thank you for clearing that up and giving your opinion. There was, of course, a penalty earlier on that Bruno Fernandes was talking about, but it was your man Paul Pogba.
All about Pogba, all about the big man. Let me tell you how difficult it is. This boy is 6'3". Look at his feet. Look, just takes Dyer off balance and just drives with power into the space and just try and initiate contact. Look, whoop, see you later. Now come and wait for the contact and hit the floor. He's entitled to hit the floor there. Dyer makes too much contact. Some people might look in and say it's soft, but for me, that's a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, Dyer again, he's doing something he shouldn't do. There is no question whatsoever Pogba is playing for the penalty, but that is not against the rules. It's fine to initiate or to try to coax somebody into pushing you or tripping you. That's a skill.
You're speaking like you have been there once or twice.
Once or twice. But that's an absolute skill. What is an unbelievable skill is what Tim just said. How he dances around for someone so big. His feet are brilliant. And then he's got the strength to get his body in between the player and the ball. And he definitely tries to win a foul. And I don't know why, but Eric Dyer obliges, gives him what he wants. I think it is a penalty. Even though he's played for it, I still think it's a penalty.
I think this is what he gives you different. We were crying out for someone to drop their shoulder. Fernandes is capable of doing it. You need more players like that. They've got a lot of pace. We talked about Daniel James, Martial, Rashford, who was very poor tonight, and even Greenwood when he comes in. They want the space in behind. You need players who've got guile, who can wrong foot the defenders. And he's got that in the locker. As a manager, I would not be able to resist playing Paul Pogba with Fernandes.
That is just it. These players are the difference, aren't they? That is the difference between just a Premier League player and someone that we all talk about all the time. That, just a moment of brilliance when the game is hard, when Tottenham get 11 men behind the ball, you need something just out of the ordinary. And Paul Pogba has got that about him. A little shimmy, bump, and that's it. That's, you know, if it wasn't for him, then it would, you know, they would have got beat 1-0. It's brilliant, brilliant play. And as I say, that's the difference between standard Premier players and world-class players.
And Manchester United have had their issues earlier in the season with penalties. I mean, since Bruno Fernandes has arrived, that looks to have gone away. Does he ever look nervous for you?
Never. He never, ever looks like he's going to miss a penalty. He just waits for the goalkeeper, doesn't he, all of the time. Oh, go that way. OK, I'll stick it in there. It looks like he's got all the time in the world. I mean, he didn't break his stride this side. Sometimes he throws that little shimmy in, doesn't he? He's done a few times at Old Trafford when we see him just tuck him in. He's just cool as a cucumber. He knows he's going to score there. So when they celebrated that second penalty, because they knew that's almost 2-1, because they know he's got the ball in his hands again, and they quite rightly VAR turned it around.
He's pretty good at them. He scored his last 14 penalties now, Bruno Fernandes. This one gave his team a point. Let's see what Jose Mourinho thought about it all.